Welcome, everyone. Today, we will discuss why ACME needs a robust information security plan, or ISP. As ACME grows and faces increasing risks, having a clear and comprehensive security strategy is essential to protect the company's assets, data, and operations. Let's explore the key reasons behind this need and what an effective ISP can achieve for ACME. First, let's consider ACME's risk environment. Being located in hurricane-prone New Orleans exposes us to significant physical and operational vulnerabilities. Additionally, with half of our workforce working remotely, our attack surface has expanded, increasing potential entry points for cyber threats. On top of that, our rapid growth, adding over 30 employees soon, brings challenges in onboarding and managing access controls effectively. Currently, we have no formal cybersecurity program in place, which leaves us exposed. So why is an ISP essential? An ISP establishes standardized policies, controls, and procedures across the company, ensuring everyone follows consistent security practices rather than reactive or ad hoc measures. It protects our sensitive data, critical systems, and manufacturing operations from potential breaches. Moreover, it helps us comply with legal, regulatory, and industry requirements, which is vital for maintaining trust and avoiding penalties. What does the ISP enables for ACME? It clearly defines security responsibilities for all departments, strengthening our defense against cyber attacks and threats related to remote work. It also allows us to detect and respond to incidents faster, minimizing potential damage. Most importantly, it lays the foundation for a long-term cybersecurity program and supports business continuity, ensuring ACME can thrive securely as we grow. Now, I would like to hand it over to my colleague to go over outline of ISP.
Thank you, Anna. Now, I will be presenting an overview of the key session and policy in the ACME's Information Security Plan. First, the plan clearly defines what it covers and who is responsible. It applies to all employees, contractor vendors, and systems, including manufacturing and operation, financial platform, cloud services, and remote access. This ensures full organizational accountability. Secondly, leadership owns security, senior management, set risk tolerance, allocate resources, and ensure cybersecurity align with business goals. Security is treated as business risk, not just a technical issue. Third, the company use a structured process to identify and prioritize risk. This includes cyber threats like ransomware and phishing, vendors and supply chain exposure, remote workforce risk and environment disruptions, such as hurricane. Protection efforts are aligned to the level of business impact. Fourth, ACME maintains a clear inventory of its system and classify its database on sensitive critical assets such as proprietary design and financial record receive stronger safeguards. Fifth, access to system is tightly controlled. Employees only have access to what they need, and stronger authentication is required for remote or sensitive access. Sixth, layer technical protections, such as network safeguard, encryption, monitoring, and system update, reduce likelihood of major operational disruption. Seventh, the company has defined procedure to respond quickly to cyber incidents and recover efficiently, minimizing downtime and reputational impact. Eight, business continuity and disaster recovery plan. Ensure ACME can maintain or rapidly restore operation, even during cyber attack or natural disasters. Ninth, employees receive regular security training to reduce human-related risk. 10th, third parties vendors are evaluated and monitored to reduce supply chain exposure. Finally, the plan includes ongoing monitoring, auditing, and continuing improvement to adapt to evolved threats and regulatory requirements. In summary, this information security plan strengthens operational resilience, protect critical assets, support remote operation, and safeguard long-term business continuity. The following policy will form the foundation of how ACME protect its business, people, and reputation. The information security policy set the overall direction for cybersecurity. It defines leadership responsibility, risk, oversight, and executive accountability for protecting company assets. The acceptable use policy established expectation for how employees use company system and data, reducing misuse and internal risk. The access control policies ensure that individuals only have access to system and information necessary for their role, with stronger authentication for sensitive assets. The data classification and handling policy ensure that sensitive information such as financial record, proprietary design is properly identified, protect, retain, and secure dispose of. The incident response policy defined at the organization detect, manage, and recover from cyber incidents to minimize operational and reputational impact. The remote work and mobile device policy address risks related to distributed work environment and personal device usage. The business continuity and disaster recovery policy ensure the company can maintain or quickly restore operations following cyber incident or natural disaster. The vendor and third-party security policy establish security requirements for external partners to reduce supply chain risk. The security awareness training policies ensures employees are regularly educated on managing threats and secure practice. Finally, the compliance and audit policy ensure adherence to regulatory requirements and support continuous monitoring and improvement. In summary, the policy translates security strategies into a clear expectation, divine accountability, and operational resilience. Now, I will pass it on to Tyrone to discuss the departments that should be involved.
Thank you, Kingsley. Now, I'll be talking about the departments involved in developing ACME's ISP, Executive Leadership. This includes the CEO, CFO, and COO. Their involvement is essential because the ISP will guide how the entire organization manages risk, which affects business operations, finances, and long-term strategy. From this group, we need formal support for the ISP, approval of resources and budgets, and clear communication that cybersecurity is a priority across the entire organization. Next, we have the IT department, which will be heavily involved as they are responsible for implementing and managing the technical controls outlined in the plan. This includes the network security systems, administration, cloud services, and remote work technologies. From IT, we will need input on current systems, assistance with risk assessments, and support for implementing the security tools and configurations defined in the ISP. Thirdly, we have human resources. They play an important role because many security risks relate to employee behavior, and they can be a victim to social engineering attacks. HR manages processes such as onboarding, offboarding, training, and policy distribution. We will need HR's help in integrating security requirements into employee workflows, coordinating company-wide cybersecurity training, and ensuring policies are communicated and enforced consistently. Next, we have legal and compliance. They must also participate because they help ensure that ISP aligns with regulatory obligations and industry standards such as privacy rules and contractual requirements. From this department, we will need review and guidance on policy language, clarification of legal and compliance risks, and support with incident response processes, particularly when it comes to notification requirements. After which, we have operations and manufacturing. They are critical because ACME relies on production systems that may introduce technical and physical risks, And as the company grows and ensures smooth and secure operations are essential, we need the team to provide insight into manufacturing processes, supply chain dependencies, and production-specific risks. Their input will support continuity planning and help us identify controls needed to protect production environments. We now have the finance department, which handles sensitive financial information and interacts with vendors, making high-value target for phishing, fraud, and ransomware. From finance, we'll need support implementing proper access controls, awareness around financial cyber threats, and cooperation during vendor risk assessments. Finance will also help align cybersecurity investments with budget priorities. Next, we have the remote workforce. Since half of the company works remotely, the remote workforce must be considered a dedicated group. Their work environment introduces additional risks such as unsecured networks, personal devices, reduced physical oversight, and we will need the cooperation with security requirements such as VPN usage, multi-factor authentication, device compliance, and participation in training focused on remote work risks. And finally, we have the facilities and physical security. They are necessary partners because physical access is closely tied to cybersecurity. Unauthorized access to a building, device, or workstation can lead to tremendous data exposure. We will need support with access control systems, visitor management procedures, surveillance, and aligning physical security measures with digital safeguards outlined in the ISP. So in summary, developing an effective ISP requires cross-department collaboration. Each department contributes an essential expertise and plays a distinct role in reducing risk and supporting ACME's long-term security strategy. With consistent participation and leadership support, the ISP will provide a strong foundation for protecting our information, people, and operations. Thank you. Now I'll be handing it over to Benjamin.
Thanks, Tarun, for that breakdown of the departments that need to be involved. Now, you may be asking yourselves, governance, what is that? Well, governance is about setting a standard for information security and ensuring individual accountability throughout the organization. Governance isn't just frameworks and policies. It's about becoming the example of concentrated efforts and dedication to the organization's broader objectives. Ensure every action that you take can be traced back to a certain objective, so that later down the line, you will know the answer to the question of, why are we doing this again? An organization is only as effective as its leaders. Leadership must provide the resources, direction, and critical oversight needed to ensure that security initiatives are aligned with business objectives. It is your responsibility to set an example for the rest. If you set a good example for your employees, then they will follow suit. It is in everyone's best interest that you show your full and unwavering support for these initiatives. This ensures that a culture of security is embedded within the company itself, facilitating the daily functions of the business without hindrance from unnecessary risk. It's about your organization's current appetite for risk. Each action should be aligned with the organization's unique risk profile. However, none of these efforts will matter if they aren't backed by you, because when business and information security are aligned, they allow each other to thrive. You must take it upon yourselves the responsibility of overseeing the policies and procedures, making wise choices, and hold yourselves as well as the entire organization accountable for any shortcomings. This isn't just a one-time decision. It is a commitment to excellence in every avenue. Proper governance and executive support guarantee that the information security plan will not only align with the organization's strategies, but effectively mitigate risk, utilize resources, measure performance, and deliver value. All in all, an ISP is critical for organizations looking to thrive for the foreseeable future. It will require everyone to do their part. An ISP will ensure compliance with laws and regulations, protecting your business from severe financial ramifications. And most importantly, it will require your support through and through, because a deliberate, meticulous, and constantly iterated plan will ensure the organization's success in this digital age, where data is king. The next threat looming around the corner could come from anywhere. Now is the time to secure your future. Thank you.